Toast to finally another season of Love is Blind. Netflix was not stingy with their episodes. They gave us 6 of them. The last 2 are the ones that actually mattered. And I'm all here for it. So there were messy love triangles, messy love squares. We've had a lesson on how to pronounce the name Brittany. So let's jump right in, guys.
Well, great long toast.
Cheers.
Yeah, we can start with the first love triangle on my mind, which is Devin, Virginia, and Brittany. I like his choice. I think Virginia is a beautiful woman. She's a doctor, very well spoken, very well put together. I am not thrilled that was what she ended up with. But what?
Damn.
That was kind of harsh.
I think he's all cap, honestly. Like, but what are your thoughts?
All cap at what end?
Listen, when somebody tells you that they are taking ibuprofen 20 a day, that's not even a red flag. That's beyond. Like, that's a big no. And as a doctor, like, I'm surprised she didn't question
She's
that.
not a medical doctor. She's got a doctorate in like supply sales
care.
or some shit.
A healthcare recruiter. She's
a recruiter? That's not a doctor, Meg.
Well, that's my
Is that what she was selling?
On the show, she vividly said, I'm a doctor, I run marathons, da-da-da. But then when you look her up, it literally says on the Netflix webpage, she is a healthcare recruiter. I don't know a lot of doctors in healthcare recruiting like that. Like, wouldn't it be like doctor healthcare recruiter?
Maybe she said she was helping to recruit doctors, or she recruits doctors.
No, she said she was a doctor.
Maybe
Yeah.
she has
Like-
a doctorate.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
that's,
it is.
you know, it's, come on now. If a guy did that and he's like has his doctorate in human resources and he's sitting up there saying, I'm a doctor, we would all go in on him. Like, you can't just, I'm a doctor.
Well, let's do some peer reviews.
Yeah.
Let's do some compensation.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
Respect
like
the
her.
degree. Respect the
I
degree.
do, but
Yeah,
I
I mean,
like
she's
her.
I think
But you can't say you're a doctor.
I think you got to give him credit. When he goes in, he goes all in. It's 20 ibuprofen, it's 100 Jordans, it's basketball all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he will go all the way for Virginia, who's perfect, by the way. I didn't mean the doctor slight. I think she's great. She's my favorite person on the show.
Really?
Victor, what's that smirk? You're probably a Brittany fan.
Hell no. Not Brittany fan.
And it's not
Nothing wrong
Great
with
Britain,
her. Nothing wrong
it's
with
Great
her.
Britain,
Yeah.
and it's Brittany.
Brittany.
Just because your mama call you Brittany, I'm not gonna call you Brittany. So,
Brittany.
I have nothing against her, but
Okay.
I'm going to say it from the episode 1, and I don't mean this to be offensive with Brittany, but girl, what I kept saying is like, can you please, somebody ask her with the whole dating women, why she feels she wants to date men? Like, what does her family feel about her dating women? Because I'm getting very much the vibe the only reason she's trying to date men is it's not accepted in some way in her life to date women. Because I'm not getting any feels that she's the slightest attracted to men.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that
think-
offensively, but
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that too. I know there was a conversation she was having with Devin where they were talking about gospel music, and she was talking about how sheltered she grew up. So I could kind of see that a little bit. Like, maybe going on Love is Blind, will that cement, like, this is really reaching, but like, is that cementing her sexuality? Like, if she doesn't know what these people look like, what is she leaning more towards? But definitely felt a little out of place when she was talking to Devin.
she was in that pod with Devin. Like, damn, you in Virginia? Yo, my God, she is nice. No.
Yo, but it felt like it was one of the guys, like you talking to one of the homies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the vibes. I was like, they could be friends. And he said, like, oh, we could be friends after this. I believe it.
You will ball
She
up.
gonna dunk on him. She gonna dunk on him.
He's like, I got a game every Saturday.
Now, is Virginia's relationship with Devin believable?
Here's where I struggle, but now knowing she's not really a doctor, I don't know what a healthcare recruiter with a doctorate makes. I don't know if that's something we can Google. Where I thought their biggest struggle was going to be was finances when it comes down to her making substantially more than him because of his job. We know, I mean, he's a youth basketball instructor. There's no way he's making that much. Unfortunately, that's just how our society, especially in America, is. Instructors, educators, they don't make a ton of money. That was my biggest concern on where this is going to head once they're in the real world. Because although we like to think that doesn't play a huge factor in relationships, but there usually is some kind of learning curve when a woman makes a much more, price point than maybe the male partner, especially in a new relationship, unless he's completely okay with that. But would she be okay with that? Has she dated men that make less than her? Those are all kind of things I'm curious to see how they play out, and it very well could be fine, but that's where I think we might see some clashing.
I think the one saving grace though is that she does want to have like the prototypical family dynamic where she was saying, I want to be like the babies on my hips while you coach basketball at the game and stuff like that. So I think we'll see some part of it show, part of her kind of story shows boss lady, high achiever, and part of it shows I'm ready for like to settle down and have like a family. So she's given a little bit of both, and I'm not saying it's too good to be true. I'm like, I would like to learn.
So one thing that turns me off sometimes is like when people say, I work with youth, I want to give back to the community. Like, it feels a little bit forced. Like, how does that mentoring and all of that translate like in finding your soulmate in the pods? I feel like it felt like he was trying to add depth where there was none, basically. For some reason, when he said it, I was like, you have 100 Jordans, but you want to give back by volunteering here and there?
Well, he's a coach. Well, he
He's a
does
coach,
coach.
so he gets paid for that. Yeah.
Yeah, the women's basketball team. And I guess he's like, I don't know if he's like a gym teacher or he just does after school. But I will say where I agree with you is like there was a lot of basketball talk. And like, what else is there about you?
Yeah.
But what if there is nothing? What if it's just basketball?
Then I hope she loves his personality.
And basketball. That's it.
I don't know. I feel like theirs is, to me, from what we've just seen, they have the best shot from just these episodes, not anything deeper, but they seem the most level head, except for his whole, that ibuprofen thing. I'm sorry. Like, the minute he said it, I was like, oh, hell no. They got to take this man out of the pods. Like, that ain't, he's got problems. Like, and I'm glad you overcame him. I know people can, and I get it. Victor was like, well, he's not going to air out like exactly if he was addicted to something. And I was like, but don't you think it looks like worse that you're lying about what you were 20? What was it doing for you past 8 of them? What was it doing for you? Nothing. It's not like, other drugs. And I'm not going to say exactly what he might have been because I don't know him, but what were you doing with 20 ibuprofen? We know it wasn't ibuprofen. Just say it. If you've overcome it and you're really at peace with it, just say it. Be honest.
Flintstones.
I don't
You know what? Maybe she said she was a doctor and he was like, oh.
I got a fever.
He's like, score. Like, I'm going to get all...
I wasn't going that way with it. I was just saying,
No.
like she could take care of him was what I was going with that.
Yeah, every woman, what she wants is a broken man to help heal. Wow.
Damn. He's healed. He got Jordans.
I'm crying.
He's helping youth. He's
He
healed.
can't
Does
be that
he have
addicted
Jordans?
if he hasn't sold the Jordans yet.
You're
Well,
facts.
Well, Victor made a point. He's like, how come he's only worn the same pair of Jordans the whole entire, like every single
Wow.
day?
That's a good
Ouch.
point.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might be his favorite pair. I was saying, like, when you have a few Jordans, you have that one favorite pair. But if I have 100 Jordans, I'm showing out. I'm having each one matching each outfit.
Yeah.
He had the threes on though.
Especially for
good
this.
taste, though. My favorite
Was
one.
he-
Yeah, 'cause it's literally the ones Victor wears all the time, or the ones he's
I
wearing.
wear
Ooh,
the
you and
black
Devin?
ones. I wear the no.
Tighter than-
The black ones. He has the white ones. I wear the black ones.
What was he wearing when they met each other and they had their moment? Was he wearing Jordans?
I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he was wearing the
I think
threes,
so.
the white threes.
I think he's wearing the same pair. I think that's all I saw him in. So, and that very well could be his favorite. But I'm like, if you really did have a great shoe collection, it's like women who are like, oh, I have an amazing jewelry collection. You're not going to just wear the same necklace every day. You're going to show, like you kind of want to show out something that it's obviously a passion of his to have 100 Jordans. Like, and frankly, I want to see other one. I like the shoe game this episode. I liked a lot of their shoes this episode or these episodes. So
Yeah,
I
the
would've
girls were
liked to
killing
see-
it shoe wise. I was surprised and impressed by
Especially
some of them, the
Taylor.
shoe choices.
Does she need to
Taylor.
take the shoes off?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Those shortcomings there.
Oh wow. So what how are we rating them? Like 1 to 10? 10 being, oh my God, they're the best couple. I'm gonna give him a 4 because something about him is just not believable. But he could prove me wrong. He has 9 episodes to prove me wrong. So
He just needs
I'll
a
wait.
barber. I think a lot of the unbelievability. He just needs a barber. The shaving was rough in there. The lineup, yeah. Like, wait till he gets to his barber outside. I'm sure Minnesota has one barber.
That one hood one.
I don't
just
know.
one.
That one spot
I don't
of
know. After
Minneapolis.
this
You know
Yes.
what? He probably, because they only had one, he didn't have enough time to get fit in the schedule before he came to Love is Blind, So,
Maybe.
Like Chris Rock said, every major city has to have a Martin Luther King Boulevard. Go to a barbershop there. Go. I'm giving them a 6.5 solely on the strength of Virginia.
Wow.
Virginia's
oh my God, that's high.
my rating is different. I'm gonna give him a 7, and it's a 7 based. What?
No.
Let me finish.
Okay.
It's a 7 based on the drama that's gonna come out of it after the. I'm scoring them on drama. I don't care about them. They're not going far.
You
But
don't care about the
I
love.
but I wanna see the drama, and I feel like there's gonna be between the age, between his past, and some stuff is gonna come out, and she's gonna find out some things. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of drama there, especially if she steps on one of his Jordans.
I don't know. I'm probably going around like a 4.5, and mainly because everything we talked about. And then once again, you have 100 Jordans, and we kind of know what you already salary-wise you make. That tells me you're also bad with money, because there ain't no way you're affording all those Jordans and having like a decent home, like
Like
Yeah.
That's
mentoring some
hard.
youth.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's training
it's,
on the side too. He trains on the side. He's like a personal coach. Maybe he has a nice clientele.
Maybe he's getting these Jordans free. I don't know. I don't. I'm
the
sorry. I
free
really like
Jordans.
her. I like her. I really like her. I just feel like this is going to be a situation where she's overlooking all the red flags just to get engaged, which we've seen that last season, which we saw it a lot last season. I won't even bring up that couple because they're not even together anymore, which we all knew that was going to happen. But, sometimes when you hear the red flags and they're like slapping you in the face, sometimes you got to kind of like, oh, hold up. But,
Yeah.
I mean, go have fun. Why not?
Yeah. So on that note, let's talk about the other love triangle. We have Molly, the executive assistant, who I think at some point was dancing, whatever that
In
means
the
for
NBA.
the NBA.
Not the stripper, as far as we know.
Oh no.
She's never had a boyfriend before, by the way.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
sketchy at all.
Seriously, and you dance for the NBA? Like I'm sure you had some locker room
Oh, yeah,
hangouts.
she was dancing all right, all over. All over.
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
NBA.
get canceled. Okay, so we
Splits,
have
cartwheels, whole nine.
then there's Lauren, who is Lauren, and then David. So he cheated on his last girlfriend, and that's the trio. So this situation was a little bit weird because Lauren knew that Molly was into him, was his number one at some point, and so like she went and confronted him. I think Lauren's crazy, and David's gonna have his hands full with her.
Oh, 100%.
She's a nut.
So was Molly bragging on purpose? Did she want Lauren to hear? Or like she said, like, oh, I didn't know you were dating him.
I'm so sick of this bullshit with the women trying to be like, I didn't know. I don't know. Shut up.
Yo, my camera got
stand
knocked
it.
out. Oh my gosh.
I just cannot stand when they do that. Like, we all know you did that shit on purpose. Any girl knows exactly what you're doing. It's like your way of like pissing on, you know, your pole. Like, this is, you know, you're trying to get under her skin. And Lauren, you can tell, you know, she's a little unhinged. You know, anything will kind of like, she makes me a little nervous. Like,
She went to do her makeup by the yoga mats. She was so upset.
yeah. And
like
like hiding under stuff. I don't know. I was like, girl, like, this is what you're here for. How do you not mentally prepare? Like, oh, it's going to suck that maybe the guy I'm talking to is probably going to be connecting with somebody else. They go in acting like this is, you know, like something new to them. And I get it, when you're in there, it probably kind of like messes with your head. But I'm sick of them saying, I didn't know. I didn't know. They all talk. They're all telling everybody and that's how women are. They gossip. So you know everybody's telling everybody's business. So you're doing it on purpose. Just say, yeah, I like him. I don't care. This is what we're here for. Why are you trying to like, I don't know.
When she was to the friend, like, I don't know if she knows that I know that she knows that I know. I'm like, what about?
And then I turn around and I'm asking Eric, wait, does she know that the other girl knows that she knows that she doesn't know that? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, no, it was super confusing. Just like you're saying, Nora, stop acting like you don't know shit.
But
it's like
Molly was crazy too, because
100%.
Homeboy definitely never told her, hey, you're my number one. And definitely never told her, yeah, I'm breaking up with her later this afternoon. And she went in there and said both those things way loud so Lauren could hear. It was like, I'm his number one. He's going to dump that bitch later. Then he's like, I never said that.
Molly,
yeah,
I just thought she was hot shit. I mean, and for a while she was feeling herself. She felt herself a little too much. And, you know, she met her match because I think if she would have left it low key, I think she would have ended up with him in the long run. But, you know, she was feeling herself. You know, she was trying to mark her territory. It didn't work out for her, though. It didn't work out at all. But it sucks, Molly. I liked you.
Yeah, for someone who like supposedly never had a boyfriend, she sure knew how to make other girls jealous and like
manipulate.
Well, she didn't have a boyfriend. It didn't mean she didn't take other people's boyfriends.
Or husbands.
I never had it.
Yeah. That honestly, that was one of my notes that like, okay, you didn't have a boyfriend, but is that because no man wanted you? Like, that's not like, I don't know. You seem pretty happy to say it. And to me, at your age, that starts telling me, especially in your industry, they just didn't want to be with you. They had you, but they didn't want you. Like, I don't know. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, why did she say that as like some kind of flex? Like, that is not a flex at all at 30 years old. Never having a boyfriend. Sorry. Especially if you hung out with NBA people. Like, come on. Not one of those guys like wanted to take you on a date? Not one?
No. What do you mean?
No.
Why would
they?
What? You gonna take a dancer?
No.
I will say, David, I don't like him either. So it was kind of, I was fine he ended up with Lauren, and I didn't really care who
Would
he
you
ended up
date
with.
a guy who says to you, hey, what's wrong with you on the first date?
No.
What about a guy who's like, I have high standards because I see butt lifts and implants all day?
Mm-hmm. And then he's walking around. That was one of my notes. Like, you have these high standards. I expect you to be well kept, well groomed, looking fly, looking good, your clothes pressed. Like, if you're going to talk about high standards, you better be coming at a high standard level. And when you come out looking like you're wearing your daddy's suit, flip-flopping shoes, like from JCPenney, I'm not impressed. Like, you
Not
cannot
juicy.
say I have high standards and walk around like that. I'm sorry. It irritates me. Like, have high standards, that's fine. If that's a personal thing, people. But you need to be at those levels then. You need to walk around at those levels. So you're around it, but you don't feel like you need to meet those levels. Just women should have to be at those levels. Makes no sense to me.
Damn. That was well said.
Poor guy.
Period.
I wanna ask you guys, because I get a sense that he chose Lauren because she actually did push him, and Molly was always just like, yeah, sure, and he seems indecisive and like not very in control. Was he beating around the bush and never actually broke up with Molly? That she had to be like, so are you breaking up with me?
Yeah. He was like through his fake tears when she was like, just tell me you don't want me. And he's like, I thought I did.
I did.
Like, didn't I?
No, but he kind of did though. He was like, yeah, I don't think.
No,
Yeah,
you
he
need to
was
be
like-
direct. You need to say, I don't want you. I want somebody else. You can't just be like talking about, oh, I wish I would have, could have. Like, no.
He said, I want to continue like exploring things with Lauren. It's like
That-
you've
so
been
what?
doing that.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Molly was like, okay, we're still good, right? Like he
Yeah.
didn't actually say,
I
it was
don't-
like,
I'm used to this. This is no different in my real life, so that's cool. Like, I don't care. Let's keep going.
she wanted to hit him with the scissor, you'll be my boyfriend on the weekend type shit.
Yeah. Now, here's the real question about David. Do we think he was having such a hard time picking because there's maybe a third woman that he's already been promised to? And I don't know how they do things in Minnesota, but he was real concerned about his sister finding out that he's dating. I don't know. So I was a
Yeah.
little confused about that one. He was very concerned she would find out. He went on. He never said exactly what she would be exactly upset about. Is it that he's dating a woman? That he's on the show? That he's...
That they're betrothed to each other.
I don't know. I couldn't understand. Like in tears, he's like nervous.
Yeah,
like it's almost
yeah.
like like my husband's at home gonna watch this, and we were on a break. Like that's how it almost sounded. Like it was weird. Like the nervousness about it. It's not like, oh man, she really, my family's super conservative. They wouldn't want me on the show or something. Then I could be like, okay, like they don't want him acting a fool or whatever. He hasn't even made it to meeting her, and he's already like panicking about his sister. I don't know. I just felt weird. I felt really uncomfortable with that. I'm like, and say it. What is she gonna be upset about? He won't say it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was very weird. That was very weird.
The bloodline brother. We must keep it one.
Yo, Chad.
I don't know. I'm like, I get it. I get the show, especially if you come from a conservative family. I don't think he talked anything about anything on that level where they might be like, oh, this is too much. This is weird. This is, like, I don't know. It was just like...
He was so afraid. It was his like physical reaction that was alarming.
Let's be sensitive here, guys. Rate this couple. So, I mean, is Lauren and Dave, like Molly. Let's rate it on two things. Whatever you want to rate Lauren and Dave, and likelihood that Molly comes back and becomes a factor.
Oh, okay. That's definitely that's definitely 100.
That's a 10 for you guys?
Yeah.
Gonna come
Yeah,
back?
2 and 9.
First.
2 and 9.
Yeah.
I think I'm all along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, same.
Actually, no, I give it more. I actually give it a 5 that they'll make it through. I'm like 50-50 coin flip because I think he's a pushover in the end. Lauren's gonna be a maniac. Like, no, we're doing this, but Molly definitely is gonna be a factor somehow.
Why? Wait, why do you say that? Because you said he was indecisive earlier and like not in control.
I think he ended up with Lauren because she pushed him to end up with her.
But the thing is, to their defense, it's like, I don't even think it's indecisiveness. It's like, this is not choosing what you're going to have for dinner. This is who you could potentially, you're going to propose to this person. So there has to be some kind of level of, I don't know. I wouldn't call it indecisiveness. It's just like.
It's not even that. It's not like he made the decision. It's more so Lauren's like, you're going to be with me. And he's like, okay. And then Molly's like, whatever you want. He's like, I'm gonna see it out with her. He couldn't even break up with her. So it's just like not even indecision, as he doesn't have like the push to like make things happen, and Lauren did. She's like,
I think the theme of this pod is ultimatum. Not different show, but same principle. I feel like a lot of these guys, they were leaning one way, but when the second option or whatever was firm with them and said, hey, you need to pick me, or you need to do this or that, they kind of switched it up and was like, oh, okay, I want to be with you. So I feel like that happened more than once. I think maybe 3 times with 3 different people. So I think a lot of the guys are just don't know, and then they need the woman to tell them, like, all right, you need to be with me, or and end it with the other girl.
That's a good transition to the next couple that I wanted to talk about. There was Madison, Megan, Alex, and I'm missing an M somewhere.
Mason?
Mason. Oh, the guy. I'm missing the guy. I have a lot to say about Madison, but I'll let Eric take the wheel right now. Thoughts?
all right. Let's start kind of like easy. Why does Megan start talking like this, like, you know, skirt, whenever she's around the other girls? Yo, what was that? She walked into the room, was like, you heard? This guy is my boyfriend, my number one. She started talking like DMX out of nowhere, like, that's my...
She's scaring him off. She's scaring him off.
Yo, what is up with her black scent? Like, she totally turned that shit on.
She got that one black friend that co-signed her. There you
Probably
go.
Brittany. Probably her and Brittany, I feel like could be friends. I don't know.
That should... Okay. Conspiracy theories, ghosts, aliens. Like, that was the extent of her conversations with Mason. Plus, they liked the same movies. And you wonder why he chose the other girl. Yeah. I like
Madison. I like Madison. Well, I liked her. But she was cool. But I thought she was somebody else for a while, so. I was like,
she was an amalgamation of 3 people.
Facts. I was like, oh, wait. I was like, that's her. She's like, no. I was like, wait, but she's a nurse. She's an oncology nurse. There's like 3 of them. There's 3 of them in this one. I'm like, why are they all gathered here? I was like, I didn't even know what that was, and now there's like 3 of them on this show. I was like, all right. They all look alike.
Should we start at the middle where it got interesting, where I stopped fast forwarding and actually started watching? Let's start here at the confrontation. Madison is talking. Okay, Alex and Madison have a conversation where she's like, I have this issue, I have this problem. And he's like, all right, that was a lot for me. And it's kind of like, not really sure. So somehow that turns into her going to Mason and being like, my other guy affirms me and you don't. I was just like, damn, if those are your version of affirmations. Okay. Oh, geez. So she basically is like, he makes me feel like he wants me and you don't. And so Mason's totally backed into a corner to say, you're my number one. And she got exactly what she needed. She goes into the pods and is like, yeah, I'm not really feeling Mason. I'm going to go with Alex. And he just told me I'm his number one, and says that to Megan. Mm-hmm. So not only does she force him to a corner, this is how I'm perceiving it. She's a femme fatale. She forced him into a corner to say, you're my number one. By the way, this is after Alex almost dumped her because of all her shit. Plus, Megan is bragging in a room like, oh, it's me and him, me and him. Sabotages their relationship. And says, well, I'm going to go with Alex. That's like the halfway point of that thing. Mm-hmm. Are you guys seeing it the same way or differently?
I'm seeing it like this. There's 2 super villains in this house. And they were Alex and white girl oncology nurse.
No, artist.
No, artist. The Madison.
Damn it.
Madison. Yeah.
Madison and Alex, both of them, I think, are villains in their own right. Like, as you just explained, Eric, she manipulated this whole situation so that Meg would end up with nobody and Mason would end up with nobody. And she would supposedly get Alex, which that didn't work out because he saw she was batshit crazy and she had way too much baggage. And he's another story, but he manipulated shit with Mason, I think, on a worse level because he was telling people, like, you know, like, oh, she's gonna dump him. Like, he was telling everybody the situation except Mason. They were looking at him all crazy, like, you know, I was watching them, they were looking at him, they were laughing a little bit, like when he was like, man, I'm gonna go on a date with her and this and this and that, and they're like looking at him like, yo, it ain't gonna happen, bro. So I think Alex and
he gave him a hug right before he went in there, thinking
that pity hug. Yeah. You
he's
seen
like,
that, yeah.
dead man walking.
Yeah.
It's messed up if you really think about it. Like, he wanted to know. And then he went and then he was asking all these questions. Like, oh, what are you going to do? You gonna, like, you know what? Like, setting him up almost, I feel like, bigging him up, get him all excited just to get let down. I was like, yo, he was a villain. He was a villain.
How would you have handled it differently, though? Like, do you just not, like, stay away and just be like, yo, we're...
Honestly, I feel like... Oh, wait, are you asking Victor?
Anyone.
So... I wouldn't have, if I was Alex, I would not have let it get that far because early in one of their dates, he saw that she was not stable when she was like, I'm an avoidant personality. I don't deal with my problems. I just like cry in the corner. And he wanted somebody that was like able to confront things that were hard and be able to have difficult conversations. But for whatever reason, he like went against that. His gut feeling. So I would not like, props to him for totally being super self-aware of his anxiety and the way that he handles things and owning it and not pretending. So I wouldn't have let it get that far.
No props to him because he knew he wasn't going to be with her from the beginning. I think he said it. You remind me of my ex. Trigger. He wanted revenge on his ex, and he used her to get it in his own head. He wasn't gonna be. He's like, I'm gonna burn this whole place down. He said, nobody's getting nobody. You're not ending up with me. Mason ain't getting nobody. Nobody's getting nothing, and he knew it. He did all that to like kind of like affirm her, and then right at the end,
he literally.
It's not. He just took it away. Love it. Genius move.
He's out here like, you see that, Janet? I ruined other people's lives too, like you ruined mine.
Super villain. She was heartbroken, but it was karma.
She wasn't heartbroken. She wasn't heartbroken. She
didn't get what she wanted.
She didn't get what she wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So
after her little like smile when she thought she was gonna destroy the whole little Mason and Meg one, she was like so proud of herself the whole time. She's like, ugh, she freaks me out.
The funniest thing to me when her and Alex are talking and she's like, well, you know, good riddance to him or something. Like she didn't feel bad. Like she said the words, I wanted to teach him a lesson. And she did that by ruining his relationship with somebody else. Great lesson to teach. After she backed him in the corner to say, you're my number one. But she goes into the room with Alex, all proud of herself, and Alex is like, well, he's upset. He has a point too. It's valid. His feelings are valid. And that crushed her. It crushed her to see for him not to agree with her. And then he's like, you know what? It's not going to work out between us because you're a crazy motherfucker.
And like, I don't understand her motive. Like, if she went too far to just like let
control.
People, it went too far.
Good one, yeah.
And it was weird to watch. It was just weird to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is, they're in there for such a short amount of time. What do we consider too much trauma dumping versus like, no, they need to be honest and know each other, because we've heard that in the pod. You need to know everything about me. I need to know everything about you before we go forward, whatever. What is too much trauma dumping? Because I think you can share a lot of things, but man, I don't know. With Madison, it's beyond sharing. Like, it's looking for sympathy to make people like feel bad, to do anything almost bad to her because she's such a pitiful little broken soul. So you can't be mean or not do anything. Almost, that's how I started feeling. So I'm just curious, like, what are the levels of like too much? Is this an appropriate amount she's sharing, to be honest?
I mean, that's a great question. I
think it's like he wasn't open to it, and that's the problem. Like, some people are like, tell me, I want to know, I want to get to know. He obviously was just like, why are you telling me this? Like,
yeah,
way too soon.
Too much.
She was doing that to be able to control the situation and be able to manipulate them later. It's just like, they won't hurt me as much because they know this shitty thing happened to me and they're not going to hurt me. And that's fucked up. So, I mean, as far as like Nora's question, I think it's too much. I feel like, I understand in these pods, people feel super comfortable at certain times to just like share these crazy experiences. But some of the stuff is just like, at least for me, like even like some of the traumas just should not be shared on TV, or like it should be like in a more private setting. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just too close to my own traumas where I'm like, the world does not need to know.
Well, I think like to that point, like, Joey, like, I liked how he did it. It was like, oh yeah, I was talking about my other sister, but she's passed. But we don't have to talk about that now. Maybe we'll get to it later.
That was
and
perfect.
Until like the Monica was just like, oh, do you want to talk about her now, like at a later date? So you have like, but like when somebody just kind of like forces it on you, it's mad uncomfortable.
And it just seems like a lot of them, when they do disclose some of this stuff, it's like they were been holding it and they haven't been able to share it. And because you're talking to a wall and the cameras are hidden, you feel like you're alone and you're talking to yourself, which is why I think it's much easier for them to like spill all the beans.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, is it just me or does she look like Hilary Duff? No?
It's there.
I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
If she wasn't so crazy, she might have been up there, a fave. And I don't mean like not crazy in the way she thinks she's crazy, because that's not she's crazy. Yo, is like this is. Does anybody else feel like, yeah, disassociation is a thing? But when she's saying like, yeah, sometimes I forget things, I feel like that was a move too, to be like, yo, if I tell you something or do something to you, I'll forget it. Don't hold it against me.
Yeah.
Her whole thing was control. Like, she knew kind of what to say to, well, apparently not to Alex, but at least to Mason. She knew what to say to keep him. Like, she was like, yeah. She knew about like the sex thing would get him a lot more than probably most guys. She was like, I had nipple ring. He's like, what? Huh? We were like, the boy lost it. I think that's also what pushed him more. The boy was getting like super hot and flustered over there. I'm wearing this slip dress.
She was like losing interest. So here, I'm going to make sure that he likes me more. Like,
that's when it picked back up. Yeah.
But she never talked like that to Alex.
Nope.
no.
Like, the sex stuff was only with Mason. She broke up with him when he got her the cream pie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yo,
Talk about
I was
blue balls.
Dying.
Yo, another thing about that. That's fun. Another side note. You know how the like Love Is Blind were getting sued because they're like giving too much alcohol, not enough food. Have y'all noticed like the plates, the freaking things of food that they give them now?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you
And they're
hungry?
leaving them. They're leaving them so we see them. Like, no.
Yeah,
no,
I was like, yo, is somebody cleaning up? I see like 40 cups, some plates, half-eaten
Stacked.
soup. I saw a soup.
Yeah.
I said, is he eating that?
I feel like Mason was getting up to go like sad, and producers like, Mason, don't forget your food. Make sure you take it with you. We have to film you with the food. He's like, okay. He's like, Mason, take the cream
Oh,
pie
the pancakes?
too.
Was it the pancakes? Yeah, I remember that. I was like, yo, they took the food.
Don't leave the cream pie. You don't have to eat it, but take it with you.
Yo.
They're like, we are not getting sued again. Not in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I heard yeah more times in that 5 episodes than I've ever heard in my life. Yeah.
So let's get into Alex. So obviously he doesn't end up with Madison. He dodged that bullet, but he didn't dodge these social media detectives.
No.
Anybody want to break it down?
She's fucking crazy. Sorry.
No. Alex.
No. Yeah.
The dude.
Oh wait.
The
No, I'm thinking of another white boy. But go ahead.
So apparently, social media has come forward that Mr. Alex, Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Keep It Cool Alex has a past and not a good one. Alex has now allegedly, and this is all from, you can read it on Reddit and all over social media, that's where I saw it, allegedly it has been blasted all over dating sites about being an abuser and very narcissistic. On multiple occasions, different women posting, like, you know, those websites like, have you dated this man type thing. Then it started coming out, and this is all alleged. It's not me. You can find it on Reddit. I have the screenshot. It wasn't me. So I found it looking up his age. This is where it all came from. There are screenshots that have now been removed, but people have saved them before they got removed, of Alex having some issues with minors, as in buying alcohol for minors in exchange for favors, inappropriate favors. So I don't know if any of that's true, but it's a lot of people coming forward apparently on these. I didn't like go on the actual websites or anything, but on the subreddit, I don't know why they would all go after just him if it had no kind of truth. I mean, I don't know about the minor thing, but while looking that up, it did come up that his former job before being a commercial real estate broker was a former high school teacher, music teacher. So I don't know if those allegations I don't know. And I don't think he has a record. So I'm like, I find that one harder to believe. I believe the one with, are you dating this man, those ones, because there's multiple of them. So not saying he really is, but I believe women have posted about it because there's multiple. But the minor thing, I don't know. And that's a huge allegation. And I don't know if that's just one, you know, somebody could be pissed off and posting something, and that's like life altering. So take it with a grain of salt, that one. I don't know. But that's
say, Alex. I heard.
I don't know. I don't know. But all I will say is, if you plan to go on reality TV, I don't think it matters how much you think you scrub the internet and delete things and get rid of things and change pictures. That was, somebody said, like, he's deleted all of his old photos that women have used on those sites to post him, so that he could try to, I guess, now going on this show. And these were all, a lot of them have been posted prior to him even being on the show, people knowing him being on the show. So it's not because the show came out and he has some bitter ex who's now trying to blast him. These were posted prior to the show being released. So I don't know.
Remember when I said like 5 minutes ago, like, he's in tune with his mental health and he's like very aware of his anxiety. Yeah, fuck that.
But I will say this, like, I understand why he would break up with Madison, because she's not a good communicator, because he's had past relationship issues, because his ex-girlfriend failed AP Bio, and I mean AP English. I fucked up the joke.
Hey.
And
That is wild.
that was a good one too.
Yeah,
Cut
that's
it,
great.
Victor.
No, leave your bad joke in there.
Man.
These people going on like TV need to really, like, I don't know.
No, don't let them get better at scrubbing them.
I was gonna say,
No,
like,
I mean, I was just gonna say, like in Minnesota, like, can't you get pardoned by Trump to like scrub your record and then
Hey,
be okay?
home to the would-be vice president. Does anybody remember his name?
Waltz.
Tim.
Okay.
It's not
Was
Tim
it Tim?
Waltz.
I'm asking, yeah, I don't remember. They lost. All I know
I'm
is
just a
Emperor Musk.
knucklehead.
But yeah, like, but seriously, like when they go on TV, don't they know that all of this stuff is going to come out? Like last season, we had people that have records. Almost every season, there's somebody comes out with these crazy
Have
allegations.
kids. I
Have
think
many
part of
kids.
it,
Families.
yeah. I think it is like, Nora, you said some of the posts are like narcissistic and stuff like that. Is like they just think they can get away with it, or like nobody's gonna care. They just have the balls to be like, they're like not balls like courage, but delusions of grandeur to be like, I can do this, not a big deal.
Yeah.
But the
I
internet is
deleted the
undefeated.
photos, so
The internet is always undefeated. They can't hide.
you can't run from women that you've somehow fucked over. Those women aren't going to let this go. They're going to repost it. They're sharing it to these big bloggers. That's where I came across it. Literally looking for his age. And this all came up. And I was like, what? What the hell is this?
But is that being petty though? Is that being petty?
Is it being petty? Or are they trying to say like, hey, just so you know, anybody who's thinking this is a fine guy, like whatever, because he looks stand-up-ish. He looks like, hey, look at me. I'm very proper. I've got it together. Which is, I mean, when we think of like narcissists, they're gaslighters. They manipulate situations, which I would consider Madison a narcissist too. I think she's 100% a
1,000%.
narcissist.
Yeah.
You know? That's why I'm like, they were like the perfect pair of like doom. If they got together, it was going to be the most fireworks we ever saw. Like, the vileness between the two of them going at it, because I think they truly do believe they can get away with anything. They're setting the scene. They're going to tell us because they're in control of the audience. They're in control of how this is going to go. Alex is in control of the internet because he deleted those old photos. So he's going to, just like Homeboy on last episode or last season with his kids, he's going to tell us that they're not really his kids, even though there's photos of him spending holidays with these kids. But he's going to tell us that he never parented those kids. He had no relationship with them. They had his last name. I think when you have these disorders and you truly think you can outsmart people, and because there's plenty of broken individuals, they do outsmart. They do have control over. So they get along, they get away with it for so long. But the internet's way too big. The internet's not going to let that go.
So do we think that production does a little bit of like background check, and then like based on the drama that they can bring to the show, they'll have them on? Because like if you have a regular, Joe Schmo that doesn't cheat, that doesn't earns a decent living, he might not get on the show. Because like it was easy for you to find it. All you did was like type his name and
Literally.
he came up. So I'm assuming it'd be easy for
But I
production
think
to do the same.
it's coming up now. Like
More of, yeah.
Yeah, but production can hire people.
But why?
I don't know.
Because
That's
you're
what's-
putting strangers together,
I
right?
think
You
they
can
do
They
the
want-
minimum.
Look, they don't care about love. They care about the drama. They don't want to find out if this guy has been a dick in his past. They want him to be a
But
dick so he
God
can come in here.
forbid you have someone that has like domestic violence issues who's gotten
Well,
arrested a
okay.
few
I
times.
think they
I'm
at least
sure
look
they
for
do
that.
the minimal. They do
Yeah,
a background check.
yeah.
No record, no warrants, and then they do a check through of social media to make sure not too like
Weird.
not too weird, but also influencer, so that like you're just trying to get on the show to up your
Okay,
up
I
your
see.
business. I think that's it. I think that's everything else. Like they're probably not looking at like Minnesota MixieSingles.com to see like if you're on there. Maybe they do a quick Googles, but I don't think they're going that deep. Because
Yeah.
like Victor said, they want
Yeah.
part of it. The excitement is like we don't know what we're gonna get to a certain point. So let me throw these scenarios out there. Mason and Megan, do you think they reconcile on the outside?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, at least I'm hopeful. I'm super hopeful that
I
1 to
think
10 on sureness.
8.
six.
Giving it like 4.
I think the bread and butter of this super I don't know. That's I had something. I lost it. Wonder Bread. That's what I was going. I was going with Wonder Bread. That's what I was going. I was going with the bread and butter theme for a little bit.
I
Since
thought
the
you
cast is all
froze,
white.
man.
Me too. I was like, how long were we all going to sit silent with him? We were all like,
Like I was saying, I think the bread and butter to this Super Wonder Bread cast is gonna be the meetup they do with all the people from the pods. I think that's where all the drama is gonna be. I think that's where all the excitement is gonna be. You know, people seeing each other for the first time. Alex seeing what's her face, Madison seeing Mason seeing Meg, like all those. I think that's what's gonna be very interesting for this show.
Even Brittany was way better dressed in the preview. Like, showing a little bit of back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good.
All right.
I wonder if she knows how uncomfortable it is for people to say Brittany. Like, you have to really think about it.
I like it makes me think of Encyclopedia Britannica every time. Like, that's the only kind. Tongue twist.
Vicator. Yeah.
More like Victator over here.
Yeah.
Watch out now.
All right, so I heard a 6 and a 4 for Mason and Megan, but Madison coming in and saying, no, I got done by Alex. I'm taking Mason now.
Nah.
No? You think she had the pink hair, by the way.
Yeah, she did.
I look good. It looked good, actually. Whoa,
She looked like
what?
a straight
It's
up
not that it
clown.
looked bad. It's just like, wait,
I like
why
that.
did you do
Like
this?
it on her.
I like the pink hair.
She finished the costume. Good for her.
Yeah.
What costume?
The only art we
clown.
saw. Like
Oh, shit. Damn, Raquel. Yo.
Yo. Okay. And then,
fair though.
so we're putting that at a 0, I guess. And then my last scenario that I can think is realistic, I want you guys to rate the likelihood that Alex brings a new girlfriend, but she's totally 18. She turned 18 4 months ago, but then she lets slip that they've been dating for 6 months.
Yeah, I get that a
9.
10.
That was yeah, okay.
Yeah. Can we pivot to Taylor and Daniel? We don't have to like deep dive the relationship because it's pretty bland. But what I do want to deep dive is this Instagram thing where she thinks that he stalked her on Instagram. And she, first of all, when she comes to the camera and she's like talking to us about the situation, she was like visibly shaken up by something. I thought it was going to be something so incredibly devastating.
Me too.
Like
that he's
anything.
married or something, or has
That he's
like
married.
something. Yeah, I thought we were getting deep.
But
Yeah,
is this how boring the show is? To where this is the cliffhanger they leave it like,
Yo.
you knew me. You seen me before. Don't lie. I saw that Christmas tree. I didn't take a Christmas.
Can we
you
keep
did
it a buck?
something.
She
had a
is
drink-
grasping at
Yes.
straws.
Yes.
She's grasping at the short straws. Pun intended. She saw him. The first thing she told the camera is like, I don't know what would be bad. Maybe if he's a lot shorter than me. He's not even shorter than her.
No.
But she didn't like it. And now she's trying to be like, I think he actually knew what I looked like. That's the worst
Well,
thing she can find.
How else would he know somebody likes Taco Bell or enjoys Taco Bell?
Or Christmas. Or somebody likes Christmas.
Or yeah,
I'm
it's
a
on
nurse.
her Instagram. Yeah,
He's like,
But
he
if
knew
you
I
go
was
back-
a nurse.
she literally is telling
First
him,
question, what do you do
I
for
got
living? I'm a nurse.
Taco Bell tattooed, and then he starts talking about how much he likes Taco Bell. He thought on my Instagram. No, you told him you tattooed it in your damn
Yeah.
mouth, you idiot.
crazy.
Like,
Oh my God.
I don't know, and maybe he did. My question is, even if he did follow her before, is it even a big deal with the way Instagram
Nah.
works right now?
That's what I was thinking. It's not a big deal. And
It's
honestly,
not.
like,
It's not a big deal. I don't see none of y'all Instagrams. I follow all of you, and I don't
Damn.
see
What
none
the
ever.
fuck?
It gives me all other shit. Like,
Yeah.
like she looked so stupid when she was like, and you were holding a drink. He's like, no, I wasn't. But you were in front of the Christmas tree. Yeah, I was 10. Like she kept throwing all this stuff.
you had your legs crossed.
Oh,
while
they
you
were
sitting.
open.
So she looks wild. Okay, what do you guys think? She's
It's fake.
crazy?
It's
Yeah,
fake.
fake.
She's
It's
just
fake.
grasping.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
There's no drama.
Or,
She's
or
trying to
maybe
create
he really
something.
did, but she's using it because what are you posting on your Instagram that is going to allow somebody that close into your life? Like, how much personal shit are you really posting that people are really getting to know you on that level? Because you could go to mine and you'll understand I'm married. You'll understand what I do for work. But you're not going to know the ins and outs of me. And she's making it seem like this man could manipulate the whole relationship based off of that Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
But
no.
not even just that. How would he even know it's her? Like,
That's what I was asking.
it's like
well,
it doesn't
here's
make
how.
sense. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. They try to make this like an aha moment. Like, oh, remember when he said this? Where he's like, I have a pretty good way of remembering people's Instagram handles and the picture that's on there.
remember
Like,
that,
I'm
yeah.
really good at that. That doesn't make, like, they try to make it seem like a thing. It's not a thing, because why would he say that knowing this is the girl that I followed on Instagram and she
Yeah.
can't know? But yeah,
Here's also, my girl, you're not a bad looking girl. You're probably a very nice girl. Do you think you are that fine, that amazing, that top of the line, that this man listened to your Instagram stories to memorize your voice in hopes you'll end up on this show, and then sat in the pods and was like, that's her. That's her. That's my Taco Bell queen.
I can tell by
Like
her voice I never heard.
Like, you really think this man spent... That would take, what, a year of, like, playing videos, memorizing, writing notes, like... You really think that man... And it just so happened that you both ended up on Love is Blind. I don't know. And you're the only one, because
Yeah.
he can't be doing this with 1,000 women in hopes that one of them, and memorize all their
Or maybe he
voices.
got a
So you're
photographic
the
memory.
only one.
no, only the hot ones.
Yeah.
He's like,
mean, like-
not this cow in Minnesota. No,
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
Like,
No,
I
here's-
don't know.
Here's, I guess, the likelier scenario where it was a coincidence and he felt, oh, I know what she looks like. But even so, like, even if he had followed her and unfollowed her and then they happened to get in the pods together, that he at that point is like, well, I know what she looks like, married. Like, no, you still have to kind of date and make sure you don't hate each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and yeah, it doesn't factor in.
It doesn't. It just sounds crazy, and she needs to stop.
She's not into him. You could tell when they met. The first thing, she's just like, she was never into him.
Yeah.
It was strange, and I'm like, I don't know that whole thing. I'm like, so what if he followed you? Put your shit on
Yeah.
private and don't let people follow you if you're so concerned that they're gonna know I like Taco Bell and I'm a nurse. Then put your shit on private and don't let random people follow you. Like, I don't understand.
The weird thing is that she remembers he followed me, and then I noticed that he unfollowed me.
That's
I'm
what
like,
I was
yeah.
thinking.
She's tracking that shit.
Yeah, no, she was definitely digging his Instagram because she knew what he was wearing, what he was
Yeah.
doing.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
she's the crazy one.
Yeah,
Shit.
She's
there was something
Uno
weird.
reverse. She was stalking him.
Absolutely.
Maybe. I don't know.
My
Something's really off with that, and I don't know if we'll ever get full truth of like what exactly like happened,
No.
or I don't know. Just something's
She's-
really weird about that.
Maybe she just knows her storyline is super boring and she just has to spice it up.
Maybe,
Like
yeah.
it's
No.
it's a snooze fest, babe. It's a
She
snooze
wants
She
out.
knows that he's not a late bloomer. Spring is never gonna come, and she's like, nah.
She's out.
So what do we give this couple? A 3, a 2?
I thought they'd be higher, but after that, I'm like,
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I give it a 4.8.
I don't think they're gonna make it to the honeymoon, right?
I know. Yeah,
don't-
no, she's
I don't think
visibly
so.
like
I didn't see them in the
terrified for her life. So,
But also, are they like cutting certain
going
people
home.
out of the previews? So
Maybe.
I don't know.
Preview. That could be it.
I don't know. Her shit better be private. I'm gonna go look her up. You better be private. Take down your damn picture if you're that concerned. Like,
no,
You're gonna go to
you're gonna see
it.
her
It's like
profile.
favorite
Yeah.
food private.
Yeah, lover of.
Occupation private.
No, I'm gonna say lover of Taco Bell Christmas, and she's gonna have
Yeah.
her picture of her mouth open with her
Yeah.
tattoo on there.
she just that irked the hell out of me. I had high hopes for them in a sense. I didn't think they'd maybe make it all the way, but I was like, oh, there'll be a couple that will get through at least up to the altar, you know? Because sometimes you watch this and you're like, they ain't even getting to
They're
the
trash.
altar. But
Next couple.
What upsets
hope.
me is like the shows are made for a guy like Daniel,
yeah,
or they're made for the woman who thicker woman from a couple of seasons ago who married the tall cowboy. It's made for them. It's like, let's put this to the test. And like, she is trying to find an out from it. Or like the one like last season, the quiet guy who ended up breaking up with the girl because he's like, yeah, you're just not my type. It's like, you know, let's keep the experiment a buck. It doesn't always work. So
Yeah. Love isn't always blind. But I will say, the only note I had for her, other than that, the Instagram drama, is boring. She seems very boring. When she talked, it was very boring. So, I
You
don't
also
know. Good
have
luck, girl.
hate
she lost her
short people.
voice.
You have hate short people in your notes too.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, I was like, yeah. Like, I didn't...
Like,
Yeah.
that sounds like more though. That sounds like something you would say.
Her influence.
I mean, but she does. I mean, like, I don't... And he wasn't that much shorter. Like, he was, like... With her heels, they were like about the same height, you know, maybe an inch or so off. But I'm like, I mean, and
With
he's not
women,
a bad-looking
with a
dude.
lot of women, anything under 6 foot is short. So,
Well,
was
most
doomed.
men, a lot of men aren't 6 foot. They say that on their dating profiles, and then you meet them, and like, I'm a taller girl. Like, you ain't no 6 foot. Like, if I'm almost your height, I'm only 5'7". I can't be like this much shorter than you, and you're 6 foot.
Yeah.
Like,
And then a lot of girls on their dating profile say they love Taco Bell, but then you get 5 chalupas and they're like looking at you disgust. Bullshit.
I thought we were going somewhere else with this. But
So I have a final question. Do we think that Brittany? Oh my God, I feel like I'm taking a test in speech therapy. Do we think that Brittany is going to like take one of the girls when she goes to the reunion?
yes.
yeah.
I think so too.
Is Mr. Steele your girl?
But which girl? There's a lot that we didn't see, like when you go on the website that, like, you know, we're just in the background and we didn't get to meet this season. A lot.
Yeah.
Like the token black guy.
Yeah.
Well,
black
there was
guy.
actually multiple black girls. Like when I went on the thing,
Yeah.
I was like, there's like multiple black girls that we didn't even like. Nothing. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, this is.
They
like,
said they
not
cut
to-
DEI this season, so there's not enough.
I mean,
Not enough for everybody.
yeah, I don't know. They were like, we're gonna really make this Minnesota. We're gonna make sure we represent, you know, because they all look related, half of them, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I think Brittany is gonna.
They're all gonna show up to the family reunion. It's like all of them.
They're like, meet my parents, and they also happen to be her parents too. Oh my gosh.
Yo, but that's true because don't some of them have the same, not dads, but like Willie and Willie? Who was it? I think
Yeah,
Devin
like
and
same
Brittany.
two of them.
names.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Taylor and Daniel had their. He has her dad's name is Daniel, and then whatever the hell the other one was.
Got
I
two
don't know.
Remember
separate
Junior?
families.
Yeah, Virginia
Yeah.
and Devin. It's like, is
Yeah.
it William or is it Willie? No, it's Willie. Oh my God, mine too. Like,
Yeah.
it was creepy.
Yeah, Willie got around.
But nah, she has nice hair. She definitely got her hair done. It's not the same dad. Sorry, Devin.
Oh shit.
I don't know.
I think Brittany is gonna end up with Megan, because Megan's gonna be happy to be like,
Yo.
that's my bitch. Period. That's my bitch.
I could actually picture.
That's
her
a good
doing
one, yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I give that couple like a 8, maybe even a 9. That's a solid couple.
For
Those
real.
two.
So from one end of the height spectrum to the other, how lucky was it that Joey ended up with Monica, the like 2 tallest people in this bitch? Like,
I don't know.
imagine that situation where Monica gets Daniel. I wouldn't even be mad at her. She's like,
Yeah.
it's like that's just too much.
Yeah.
But she got the
No,
tall
I don't
dude.
know. Man.
Is that the guy that
Imagine.
looks like Shane?
I don't see it. babe. I don't see
Okay,
it.
so
Well, the golden retriever one.
yeah, he looks like Shane from season 2.
Oh, I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the
Shane's-
goofiness. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't give me Coke face vibes.
But he
Remember
looks-
when people used to say Shane wasn't on coke, and I was like, and now you see him and he's like on the streets, like coked out, like.
Oh my God.
Victor, I can see you trying to look them up and see who they are. What do you think now that you found them in the video your files?
I was scrolling. I'm like, man, white person. I was trying to find the right one.
You want to see your face? This is you.
I was like, okay, one white guy, two white guys.
He's like,
yeah,
is Joey the guy or girl?
I cannot.
Nah, I mean, they're gonna be one of those couples that probably gonna make it all the way. Very minimum issues. Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. He lost his sister, but he has another one, and they're very close, it seems.
That sounds so bad, but it's okay. He has
Why
another
are you guys
one.
laughing? I was holding it. I don't know why I wanted to laugh. I was like, that's messed up. You're like,
I
but he
don't
has
know
another
what he
one.
said. He has another one, so it's
But no,
fine.
it's nice
Don't
because
worry.
he was gonna go to college to play football, but then he's like, nah, I want to stay close to her. So
D1, right? He said D.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember the movie Remember the Titans? Is he not Sonny from Remember the Titans? That's all I got from that. Like he's the football that like
Sunshine.
yeah. That's what
Yeah.
it reminds me of.
I don't remember that movie.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Denzel.
I know. I don't remember the guy, Sonny, whoever that is.
He was like one of the main characters. He was the white boy that was nice to like
Yeah.
the black guys. Like that was
Even
like
I know.
I should definitely remember him then,
Yeah,
huh?
well, I mean, I don't know. He was a main
Because
character.
he was nice. He
You
was
remember
nice.
the
He
movie?
was
He
nice.
stood with us.
Yeah. Like, if you remember the movie, that was like a big part of it. Can I just say a side note, not to take up much time? Before it started, I was telling Victor, I was like, man, I mean, how hard is it to connect with multiple people in these pods? There has to be like levels that almost anybody I talk to, I could probably find some kind of connection to see. And then they went to Joey, and I realized in like 15 seconds, like, nah. There are some people that I would be like, fuck this. My nerves, that
That's
amount of
much is a
energy, and like, I'm not meant to be with somebody or interact with people on that level. It's too much for me. I'm too antisocial. I'm too wanting to be by myself that I can't. Sorry, Joey. Very nice, but not for me.
Yeah.
I got a lot of energy.
Yeah, the good thing is I can put you in your office and I go upstairs. Like that's too much. He's
This
like,
is my safe place.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy is when they finally met up, she was the annoying one. When they give the
Yeah.
ring. First of all, what's this hunch thing that she kept doing? Like,
Yes,
put
I
the
was
ring
saying
on?
that.
I will
thought
tell
she had
you
to-
right now. I'm gonna tell you what that is because she's so tall, and because I'm not even that tall. I'm 5'7", but for a woman that is tall in the United States, I'm always taller than everybody. I take pictures and I look like fucking Hunchback Shrek, like next to people because they're all like down to here. You know, having a best friend that's 4'9" and we take pictures, it's like fucking Jolly Green Giant, you know. And I'm like, so it's a normal reaction when you meet people or you're around people. Now he's tall, so I don't know why she's necessarily doing it, but it's probably out of habit of constantly trying to be like hunching. Literally, when we were on vacation, I was like, oh shit, I'm doing that hunching thing in pictures with Victor because it's like you're trying to like, when I'm at work today, I'm the only tall one and they're all sitting and it's like, their heads are here on me. So I'm like,
You gotta
always. So
stand tall.
I think, no, because then you look like a giant, you know, and like, you know, you don't want to be like a freak in picture. So I think, I don't know with her, but that was my assumption. That or she doesn't know how to walk in heels. So she was like struggling.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Penelope does when she has to pee. She kind of just like, so I thought she had to pee. She's like holding her
Maybe.
leg.
everything. Like,
Maybe. Nerves, I don't know. I just thought it was because she's insecure, like not knowing how tall she's gonna be next to him. So, and because when she did stand up all the way, she was a little bit taller than him. But she's in those little kitten heels, but she was a little taller than him. So I think she was trying to
he
be
needs to
like,
straighten up.
yeah, like I'm a petite little girl. Look at me.
The only thing I remembered was that she's from, or at least I think she's half Chilean.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote here, Chile is basically the Minnesota of Spanish people. So it tracks. They are a match made in heaven. So good for them. Let's rate the couple.
Nah, negative.
Nah, they're 10.
Shit.
They're a 10
They're a
as
10,
far as
yeah.
staying together. This is going to be the one that like we're annoyed every time that comes on. Fast forward.
Okay. Yeah.
We know they're
the
going
love,
to the end.
the love part, I guess I'll give them like a 9. But everything else, they're. I mean, it's gonna be not great TV to see people in love. So
it's gonna be annoying to watch because they're so all over the place that I feel like the other couples are gonna be like just waiting for them to shut up.
Yeah, 9.
9? Yeah, I would say 8 or 9. 9.
I'm over them.
I don't even know what could be their issues because it didn't get to that part. So we could very well. They might have something deep rooted that we didn't even touch on because I can't even, like, with Monica, I don't feel like she shared barely anything about herself. Like, I feel like it got minimal airtime, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention because his energy stressed me out.
Yeah, so Eric and we fast forward this. So
I don't think there was much shared. I think it was just very like, you like that? I like that. Oh, we like that. Like kind of energy, and that was it. So I don't know. We might see something. They might get on their honeymoon and be like, "Why do you sleep that way?" Or "What are you doing?" You know, I don't know.
Why do you lick my feet, Joey?
Yeah.
He's like,
Stop hunching. Stop hunching around me. I'm taller than you. I can put the ring on you.
my God. Stop.
Yeah. No, I'm fast forward Poppy over here. Netflix, you're not getting me. I'm fast forwarding through your pods. That shit does not need to be 6 episodes. 2 episodes max.
yes.
Yeah. It was. Who else do we have?
Raquel, who's left?
Sarah
Okay,
and Ben.
Yeah, I was just going to say Sarah and Ben.
Couldn't tell you a thing about either one of them.
Again, super
Who?
forgetful.
It was Sarah I liked, I think. Probably.
Okay, so tell me something about her. Tell me
She's
something
an
about...
oncology nurse.
No, because that's in my notes. That's in my notes that he's using.
No, but I know she's in the
No, but he
like
like
3
threw it
of
out
them.
for every girl. Like eventually he was gonna be
Yeah.
right.
There was 2 of them at least, I think, that were nurses.
Yeah.
And she is very supportive of the BLM movement. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I have that in my notes.
That's all I got. And he definitely finessed her. He definitely finessed her. He definitely has
doesn't
some
give a shit
questionable
about that
things.
stuff.
He has questionable things in his past. I feel like it's going to get brought up. Like he said some kind of tweet
Yeah.
or something. And I can't wait for that to happen. It's going to be fun.
So you guys remember what he said when she asked him about LGBTQ rights and people? Did you hear what? Did you peep what he said?
Something about he hasn't thought about it or something?
Something
He
along
said-
the lines is like he doesn't have an opinion on it or something. Like, I don't remember. It was something along those lines.
Yes, he said both those things, but I'm more so referencing when she asks him his opinion, and he's like, "Yeah, I have many friends with that. I know many people
yes.
Yeah.
who have that."
Yeah.
It's like, bro, it's your sexual orientation. It's not
contagious.
it's not like you're leaving
You're
with
not gonna-
yeah.
It's going to come up. And I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait for it
for
to come
sure.
up.
So he's religious and she's not. But it's not going to be an issue.
Oh, of course not.
Do you guys remember the second season with Shane and Shayna, I guess was the girl's name.
Yeah.
She was like super religious and she ended up going for her second choice, who was like hardcore atheist.
Yeah.
That was funny.
You have to, and I know people can make it work, but you have to be very special people to have different religious beliefs to get to that level of marriage. I think you can date and do a lot of things and not maybe, and it's not so hard because it's like you go off and do your own thing. But when it comes down to, and it's certain religions, I'm not saying all, but certain religions have, and depending on your level of your religion, like Christianity or, you know, if you're Muslim, whatever, there's just certain things that I don't know how you can, I don't know.
It's
If she's not really,
impossible.
I don't know.
It's inextricable from life experience, how you raise your children,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how you choose to deal with certain situations, how you get married, how you bury people. Like are you going to have a discussion every single time with these things? Like doesn't make any sense.
we follow, like, I grew up Catholic, Victor Christian, and when we started dating, that was something even I was like, well, I don't know if I would ever, I don't know what, like, the only time I've been in a Christian church, it was almost weird to me. You know, I had tried a few, and I'm like, they just clap and dance, and that's not what we do in my church, you know, but it was, you know, so there was, we talked about it.
You guys chant.
He got,
Raquel made fun of me. She was like, "Oh, do you have any baptism pictures?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I was baptized when I was older. That's what you do in the Christian church." And she's like, "Why are you mad big?"
It's so I'm like, I'm constantly, we go to church every Sunday, we go to a Christian church, and I'm constantly asking questions. So for me, it's like, even though they're very similar, there's a lot of differences that I'm still learning and still adjusting to. Now, granted, that being said, with my Christianity, I wasn't, when I moved out here and moved away from my home, I wasn't going to church or anything. So in my head, I had like lost my faith in a way, you know, like, yeah, I'm Christian or I'm Catholic, but I don't attend a church. I don't go to church. I don't, you know, do anything with it. So I was more open, and my best friend out here going to Christian, and I went to Christian churches with her. So it worked for us, thankfully, but it's still, I mean, it was weird even talking about kids a little bit, because I was like, the baptism, I was like, I was baptized, and those are like precious memories to me as like a baby, those pictures and things. To think now my kid has to be like, no, I want to be baptized. Like, they have to tell you they're ready and they accept God.
No, we baptize babies.
But it's not, I mean, you have the christening, but it's the baptisms, like, are adults. Like, I might go through a baptism, and I'm 35 years old. I'm going to go and get my head dipped in the water like a baby again, you know? It's strange. It's different. I don't know how that works with.
That reminds me of another note we have in our group doc that I put on Meg. I know I'm going, like, Meg is the other oncology nurse, Victor. Mm-hmm. I wrote here, she believes in aliens, ghosts, conspiracies, everything except what she needs to believe in, which is Jesus. So, but back to Sarah and Ben. What would you guys rate their potential?
There's no potential. There's no potential. They max it out.
I think they're not on board politics, religion. I think a lot of granted, like I said, there are some special people that can make it work. I don't know.
Who put future January 6th under his
Yo,
under his no?
Oh, yeah.
Yo.
It's just like you said, it could work. There's a long way to be like, well, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic too. I'm nothing, and I'm actively nothing, and I'm like, well, I go to church every Sunday, and I'm very into Black Lives Matter, and he's like, I've never even thought about race. Like, it's
I don't even know a black
We're in
person.
Minnesota.
That's what. Yeah.
Like, why you care about being over?
she's like, George Floyd was a big deal. It happened in your city, and it's like,
He's like, did it?
Oh.
He's like, did it now? Huh?
Never heard that name. Never heard of it.
yeah, that's that's a big red flag. I don't know
It's
what they were
doomed.
thinking.
It's gonna crash and burn gloriously, and I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see what triggers it. Is it politics?
It'll be interesting if, and I appreciate that she's gonna give us some good, because she is gonna call him. I mean, she made it very clear in the pod. She's gonna say it. Like, she's not gonna baby around it and kind of be like, you know, what are your thoughts on, like, you know, different movements? You know, like, no, she was very upfront. So I'm ready for those conversations, those deeper.
Yeah, but she didn't get any answers.
Yeah, but I think she'll keep pushing. And I think she'll do it with other cast members. We're going to see it in group settings where when they're talking about their issues, she's going to be like, yeah, and Black Lives Matter. And other people we're going to see. Like, it's going to create this thing because we do have 2 black cast members that are going to be sitting there. So it'll be interesting to see how this, and if Brittany stays, we'll have LGBTQ.
Yeah, but with that haircut, I don't know if Devin's all the way there. Like, he might have some back to blue in him.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't appreciate her trying to be an ally. I can't do it. It's too theatrical. Je ne
It
sais
was too
pas.
forced.
It's
They
just-
felt forced, right? It felt kind of forced to me.
It's super
like,
forced. And then she goes to the black girl and she's like, he doesn't like Black Lives Matter. He doesn't know anything about it.
I
And that's
saw that,
important to
yeah.
me. And then like the theatrics. It's like that's not how
Yeah.
you talk about it, first of all.
Yeah.
So I'm not with it. You're not an ally. And I don't care if she cancels me.
she's like, I'm kicking you out. You're not an ally.
That's not.
Could it be, though, devil's advocate is because she doesn't have anyone in her real life that is actually a part of these movements or understanding of these movements, because, I mean, we see it in some areas. They're not diluted enough where these people actually get a chance to be around other cultures, other dynamics, other sexual orientations,
I'll
that
take
she's
it.
like trying to find a way to like prove to her daddy, who's probably like,
Nah.
hell no, hell no.
I could see that. I could see it where it's a little bit overcompensating, and because if she was really in those spaces, like she wouldn't fully like quantify people's identity with the worst tragedies that ever happened.
Totally. And what I didn't like also is that she was saying that she wasn't going to teach him. She doesn't have it in her to teach him, but it's like, you are white. He can learn from you because we're not going to teach him.
Yeah.
Like, so use your privilege to teach others that have your same privilege. Don't put it on us to do that. Like,
Yeah.
who's going to teach him then? So if she was,
I felt
if she
like
was an
it's like-
ally, she, yeah.
Meg.
I definitely feel like she has some weird anger at her daddy or something. That is like when she's doing this, it's some weird thing like at home. There's been these hostile conversations where she's like, Daddy, you can't say that, you know, and like it's like she's trying to prove her point. I don't know.
Nora,
That's what I get.
No. You put into Texas, it's more like, Daddy, yeah. You can't say it's just a little bit of snow, yeah. You know, like,
Well, she should have chose the bald black guy then. She should have brought him home.
Yo,
that's
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's not bald.
she drew the
no,
line.
not that guy. There was another guy
No,
that was just
not Devin.
wandering
There's
around.
the other guy.
you said he was.
Look at you.
You said he was wandering around.
Yeah, you just see him walking. I'm like, where's this guy going? It's like, oh yeah, they say something, he nods and he just keeps moving. I'm like, all right, he's here for
You
the
know-
food.
Yo, I could imagine a conversation with them, and she brought it up to this wanderer. We'll call him the wanderer, where she brought it up, it's like, and George Floyd was such a tragedy, and that guy's like, man, I knew George. I hate that motherfucker. He's like, I ain't dating this girl. I am not dating her. Yeah, like, he probably couldn't stand her either.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting, I don't know what the right word without being offensive, like to say, like, of all things when you're talking about people's empowerment and these movements, that George Floyd, I get that's a big one, but there's so many other things you could talk about. And on a different, when we're talking about the theatrical of it, it is very theatrical because it's like, because you watch some TikTok videos, you know about it. Or did you actually take time to understand like real life
Yeah.
events and history of, you know, so that I understand, because
Yeah.
it really does seem,
Yeah. I feel like if she wanted to know where he stands on something, like, don't say Black Lives Matter as if it's like a TV show. How do you feel about No. You can say something like, I'm very passionate about ending racism in my community. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
I agree.
Like, that is a conversation.
You know what was a really good conversation on Love Is Blind was Nancy and Bartiz about abortion. And she
Yeah.
didn't go, like, when he said his dumbass shit, she didn't go like, my body, my right, and like the slogans, which I'm not, they're all valid, but she had a real conversation where it's like, you know, this is how I feel about it, and like actually, and part of that was teaching, and Sarah's like not interested in that, but it's more so as like, what do you know about George Floyd and Black Lives Matter? That's like, I don't know if that's at least for me, the most effective way to go about the conversation.
or the standard of
Yeah.
the issue. I
Exactly.
don't feel like there's too much drama behind both of them. Not saying that they
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be talked about, but there's so much other drama that comes with them that it doesn't even let you get to the real issue that's at hand to want to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just like a deeper way to go into it. It's like, how do you feel about diversity, or how do you feel about police brutality, or the
Yeah.
nature of our city, our state, our country, like to really see how he's feeling versus let's say he actually does have an opinion, but it's not around like current events and news. Not everybody follows the news, but everybody knows what their like town is like or their city is like and how they experience it.
Yeah,
And
that's
everybody
very
knows
true.
whether they're racist or not. So like you don't have to say like no. he
Oh no,
might not
you'd be surprised.
He might
know.
not.
Surprises.
I'll
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
I'll
that
take it
is
from the
true.
Texonians. They probably
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who think they're not racist, but say very racist things, and they think like,
Yeah.
"What? I know a black person. I hang out with them." Like, you know, I think it's that. That's why I think I'm trying to be understanding of her, because I think maybe there is she wants to be at this level and be an ally and stuff. She just doesn't properly understand what she's talking about, and that's probably because her only real actual experience with it is probably on TikTok videos or Instagram reels. You know, she's not been able to really have a group of friends or be in a diverse setting of different races or sexual orientations where she could really ask them and understand them, and you know. But I also think it's very weird that you're telling him you're not going to teach him, but you're okay with these bland answers. Like that's it's one thing to say like, that's okay if you don't know a lot about it. I would love, we can like, you know, when we're one-on-one, whatever, later on we can talk more about it. And, you know, I'm passionate about it, so I hope that doesn't bother you that I want to talk about it and I want to discuss
Yeah,
it with you, you
perfect.
know?
I would even be like on his end, why are you so eager to get with someone who is passionate about that stuff and you're totally not? Like, are you like genuinely impressed? Or are you just like, well, that's her thing. I don't really have to care about it, but I like
That's probably it.
other stuff about her. And it's just like, and she kind of like proves our point when she's like, well, I'm willing to be with someone who doesn't care about what I care about.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, do you actually care about it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Touche.
Any closing thoughts? I think that's everybody. Which couple do you guys think will be the most passionate going on the honeymoon?
Like fighting
Like
or
hooking
sexual?
up. Yeah. Like what?
Sexual, because I like everybody's gonna fight. Like, but I'm always interested, not because of like, don't call the horny police on me, but like, it's very awkward where you just know these people 2 days and now you sleep in the same bed, and where you're wearing bathing suits half the time. So some people mesh and some people don't.
I think Joey and Monica. They're going to be like little bunny rabbits right away, like night one. Because they're both kind of free-spirited, so they're just going to be like, yeah, okay. Like,
It took them a while to have that first kiss. I clocked
Yeah.
it. I always look like how long does it take
yeah.
to have
You know
that
what-
kiss? And they
you know
only
what I-
pecked. They only
Yeah.
pecked a few times.
You know what I thought about that? I think because they felt so comfortable with each other. Like, I don't make out with you every single time I see you because we already connected.
Damn.
We're family.
Is it because I always hunch?
Because you always have to freaking slap my butt, and I don't like that all the time.
Okay,
But-
too much information.
Yeah, so that
Make
works.
it
Be
sound like
open
Alex
to
out here.
learning. Be open to learning.
Share.
That's what I got from it because they didn't look uncomfortable. I just think they already connected in another level that wasn't the first thing on
To
their mind.
me, it looked like he wanted to, and he was waiting for the right moment, and then finally she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah." So I forgot
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
you here. Let me lean over.
It is weird though. Like, I feel like even if I want to make out with a guy or whatever, but like the cameras are there, you're meeting. It's like
Yeah, it's awkward.
it's
You also got to
No, you
think
got
like
an
also
audience.
you can't just come out and kiss. Sometimes you can, but it's like you also he'd probably try to gauge it. Like,
yeah.
she like
to
me?
be
Does she not
respectful.
like me?
I don't know.
Why is she hunching? You know, he'd probably try to figure out all these things on the fly. Like,
Does she have to pee?
is it a medical issue? You know, like, do I need to hold her up? He's trying to figure it out. So cut him some slack on that.
I think Devin and Virginia will take it slow.
Yeah.
They took not as long to kiss, but they actually had a full kiss. But she seems like conservative is not the right word, but she takes things slow.
Yeah.
I will say Ben is religious until it comes time to have sex before marriage. I'm sure then he's not religious. I'm sure he'll do the dirty deed. He don't care how fast.
I would say it looked like Sarah was down already.
Yeah, so I'm like, they might be really quick too, but I don't think it'll be passionate. I think they're gonna a few times, and then it's gonna be one of those that like, he doesn't even want to touch me now. We don't even talk anymore, and you know that whole thing because it's just he's gonna get annoyed of her. I think.
I think Dave and Laura, both being nuts, are gonna fight, and then they're also going to do it a lot. She's gonna be like, she's gonna be crying, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's do it.
But then he has to think his sister, you know, like, she might find out.
Most likely
up.
to yell out the wrong name during, and it's his sister's.
That's gonna be rough. Well, I think we're in for a good show. I think even if the honeymoon doesn't give us what we want, them all meeting back up and meeting the old cast members, because even when this group meets, there's not really going to be drama because there was no really love triangles of what couples we have. So I'm hoping they move quickly to get to, and it seemed like in the previews that's where the focus really is like that rekindling with the people that didn't make it.
I was really hoping the whole quadrilateral group of Mason, Alex, Meg, and Madison all made it. And I would have loved to see that interaction between all of them on the honeymoon. I was really hoping for that.
Because I actually think in the end, like if Mason and Meg and got together and Alex and Madison, when they go on the trip, I think Mason and Madison would have looked at each other and been like, "Damn, should have been us too." Cream pie.